Hey everybody! So if you saw my previous video, then you'll know that I'm making a huge change in my life. I'm putting everything on hold for the rest of 2023 and basically completely transforming my life by going into commercial aviation. I've always been a pilot. I've got about 400 hours already, so I feel like I have a little bit of a jump start on it, even though I'm a little late in the game, being 52, just about to turn 53. So in this video, I want to start showing you the steps I'm going through to make that dream a reality. And it's not an easy path. I've got to find a flight school. I got to find the money for it, and it's a lot of money. And I've got to go ahead and study for the written tests and try to knock them out as quickly as possible. Of course, without cutting any corners, but I mean, really, you can't. You got to learn the stuff and take the tests. So, with that said, let's get into it. So one good question is, why now? And one of the good answers for that is because there's a pilot shortage. And because of the pilot shortage, the airlines are hiring and they're paying better. That pilot shortage is expected to continue at least through 2030 because, well, for a variety of reasons, but a lot of pilots have been forced into retirement. You have to retire from the airlines at 65. A lot of pilots were furloughed during the pandemic. Basically, a lot of things have happened. Also, the barrier to entry for pilots has always been really, really high, and that kind of brings up another reason to go into it now, because they've removed the barrier of having to have a college degree. It always traditionally, certainly for the major airlines, but for lots of them, you had to have a college degree, and pretty much only FedEx requires a college degree anymore. It's still preferred at airlines, I think, a lot of the time. But I think more these days they're looking at what's your training, how many hours do you have, and all that. So you do have to have a lot of hours, and I've got about 400, a little over 400 already, and a private pilot's license. I'm a little ahead of the game, even though I'm kind of behind the game with my age. At least I've got a lot of hours and a lot of experience so far. So for me personally, having worked freelance for so many years, I was a web developer back in the day, and then I was a composer for a number of years, which was amazing for TV shows and film. And then, as most of you know, I've been working as a drone operator for TV and film for a long time. And that's been amazing too. So I was looking around and I was thinking, what's next? Is there something that's more of a sort of career that, like a stable career that would get me excited? And the two things that get me excited most in life are music and flying. And everybody knows music is a tough career. I had some pretty good success in it for a while there, but there's no cut and dry, like you do this, then you do this to get into music. And I started looking at aviation and thought, gosh, there is a cut and dry, like here's what you do, you do this, and then you get into commercial aviation. Certainly there are no guarantees, but it's more one of those kind of career paths, right? And it's also a career with benefits. Lots of good benefits, and these days good salaries. So yeah, I thought, yeah, that's the way to go. Okay, so let's talk about the plan. I gotta pick a school and I gotta find money for it. I gotta survive for the next 6 or 8 months, hopefully less, while I do this school. Since I've already got hours, I'm gonna be able to compress my schooling down, but yeah, I gotta find quite a bit of money for school. So looking at ATP and Paragon are the two kind of main schools I'm looking at here in the Fort Myers area. There are a lot of pros and cons, but ultimately in the end, it's a long story, which I'll tell in another video, but I'm moving towards going to Paragon. This newspaper article I'm putting up here, they were rated the #1 school in America, and they've got tons and tons of awards. They've been consistently awarded and recognized as a great school. I got a super good vibe from them over there. They've been really helpful. And then finding the money, it's a lot of money. I got to talk to them and make sure they don't mind me showing you all about the money and how much it is and all that. So be on the lookout for that in a future video. It's basically, most of us are going to have to get a loan for that, and I'll show you, these are some of the companies that they recommend for applying to get a loan. And I'm in the stage right now where finishing up, we're conditionally approved, And I say we because I have to have a co-signer. So my co-signer and I are finishing up all the documents and all that. But meanwhile, I am studying, and I'm getting ready to take my written for my instrument exam. I've been studying for about 2 weeks, and I'll do another video about that as well, because I found some really kind of tips and tricks I think that'll help you with studying. But yeah, that's where I'm at in the process. Hopefully I'm getting really close to finding out that I got the money for sure, got it locked in, at which time I will schedule to start over at Paragon. And I'll check with them, but I expect to be able to bring the camera along and show you the school and, you know, really follow through my experience over there as I get into airplanes, and I'll be flight planning and all of that kind of stuff. So, woohoo! Getting excited for this. All right. Thanks for joining me. Talk to you soon. Do me a favor and be sure and subscribe.